I went from being a college student to becoming a six-figure copywriter in a year. So in this video, I want to show you my complete story of exactly how I was able to achieve those results so fast, along with all the frustrations, limiting beliefs, financial struggles, and everything basically I had to overcome to become a full-time copywriter, along with the full story. Now here's the thing, like most people, most copywriters, I didn't want to go to college. I wasn't sold on that. I knew that wasn't for me. So this is literally me on the first day of attending university, sleeping on the chairs below the desk. Like, this is literally somebody had put me in this group chat and they were sending videos of me. Like, I don't know, when I saw that I was freaking out of my mind. But yeah, so that's how fucking bored I was, man. College wasn't for me. So the reason I went there is that I thought going to university was the safe route, like people call it. And yeah, everybody around me was talking about how awesome college life is. So I won't lie, I was looking forward to it, to living the college life, you know. Now, before I go any further, as you'll notice, this video doesn't have any fancy recording, doesn't have any sound effect, doesn't have anything crazy. It's just me reading out of a Google Doc, and I like it better. I like it better. So, like most college students watching this, or maybe school students, I was pushed by my family. Everybody was telling me that I'd end up jobless or something if I didn't have a degree. That's what people were saying to me. Soon I realized that this was far from the life I wanted to live. I mean, I'd have to show up to these freaking classes and learn from professors who've never actually achieved anything in their lives for the next 5 years. Fuck no, I wouldn't do that. So I had to find a better way. I couldn't waste the next half decade of my life doing bullshit. So the supposed safe route quickly turned into, how do I escape from this nightmare that leads to nowhere? I couldn't live another day in there. I quickly realized that college isn't meant to create workers. Is meant to create workers, actually. Not people who think for themselves, not business people, and certainly not rich people, not people who want to make money. You either become a worker or you fail. That's how they call it, right? That's when I understood if I want to make real money, going to college isn't my golden ticket. It's not my golden ticket. If I wanted to make 1K, 2K, 3K a month, possibly like a decade after when I climb up the work ranks, that's good. But that wasn't me. So I had this feeling inside of me that I was meant for so much more. Maybe you feel this too. So at the time, I also wanted to become a professional fighter. I was training 2 to 3 times a day, which meant I didn't have much time to invest in anything, really. So I had two choices. I could either stay in college for another 5 years while training on the side in hopes of landing a high-paying job and eventually getting in the big fighting organizations like UFC and stuff. Or I could try something different. Attempt succeeding outside of the system. And since you're watching this video, you already know the route I went with. So how did I go from hating my life as a college student to becoming a six-figure copywriter? Everything changed once my best friend introduced me to Andrew Tate. So I started consuming his content. I watched all the stuff he was saying about college, girls, making money online. And the funniest thing was, before November 2022, which was around the time I discovered copywriting, I'm not even kidding to you. I had no freaking clue what making money online was even a thing. I hadn't even heard about it. So I started searching about other ways I could make money on the internet, like many of you. And you know what I started with? Doing research quizzes for 50 cents a pop. Have you seen those? Those quizzes that take like 30 minutes and you get paid 50 cents to €1 once you complete it. That was what I did. So that was the beginning of my glorious rise to the top, if that makes, yeah. So I still laugh to this day when I'm thinking about this. So after that, I was consuming more and more content from Andrew Tate, and after a few weeks, he got me to buy his course. That's the first money I ever invested in courses or anything really. So I started learning about copywriting. I was sending 40 outreach messages per day like everybody else. And after 3 months of outreaching like crazy and practicing copy every day, I landed my first client. It was a little project with one of the most famous fitness coaches in the world. It was Zach Perno was his name. It was funny. So I sold him on a few YouTube titles for his channel for €50. It was like 5 YouTube titles for 50 euros or something. I don't know. That was funny. Now, when I landed the client for 50 bucks, I started thinking, oh my god, I made it. I finally escaped the matrix. This is gonna be my first 4K month retainer. Man, I was so hyped. Little did I know, things didn't go, they didn't go as I thought. Once I started trying to upsell him into doing more stuff for his business, I think I told him about maybe revamping some of his sales pages and writing some email for him. He ghosted me. That's it. I never heard from him again, even though I followed up like 47 times. I was devastated. I got into a state of self-pitying myself and saying how much I sucked. I was about to quit. Not gonna lie. I thought copywriting wasn't for me. I mean, everybody was promising you could start earning 10K a month writing simple emails in your underwear within 90 days of buying their course. But why wasn't I doing that? Why wasn't I able to make that money? I felt like a loser. So the dreams I had of dropping out of college so I could become rich and buy a Bugatti, and like everybody else thinks, were slowly fading away. I was like, okay, is this it? This is it. You're done. You're not special, man. I mean, what on earth? What the fuck were you even thinking? Just go to college, live an average life, get a high-paying job, work until you're 70, and retire with just pennies on the bank. Isn't that the dream that the system sells you? Isn't that the system? I don't know, man. Anyways, I'm telling you that the self-doubt and limiting beliefs I had to overcome in order to get here was unbelievable. It was unfreaking believable. I never thought I was able to make it. I don't know why. But something inside me kept me from quitting. I don't know what it is. Call it God, Supreme Being, whatever. That's when I realized that the problem wasn't me. So the reason I wasn't landing clients was because of the course I was in. I mean, you get what you pay for. And I only invested 50 bucks in myself for the course. For like, what would I expect? The course was really low quality. Plus, there were around 40,000 students on the copywriting campus at the time, from what I remember. So this decreased my chances of succeeding even more, because the more people have access to information, the less valuable it becomes. That's when I came across my first mentor. So for the first time ever, I was part of a community with an actual mentor who was spilling the sauce. I had never heard about all the things he was teaching. I thought I had stepped into a gold mine, and I had, because I invested a lot of money into him. A lot more money than I had in the previous course. So the information was much more valuable. And no, I didn't have any money to buy those courses. Remember, I was just a college student. I was going to college. Where would I find the money? So I made my parents an irresistible offer, like Alex Hormozzi says in 100 Million book. So I told them I need a few $100 to buy a course so I can learn more advanced stuff about copywriting. And if I don't make the money by Z time, I'll pay you back double. How can they refuse such an offer? If you're resourceful and you find ways, you're gonna make money. You're gonna make money. So they give me all the money. I took a chance by investing money in myself, and I finally started closing copy deals that were 50 euros, of course, for YouTube titles. I landed my first $400 project within a few days of joining. So I made more than my money. Like 3 times my money, I think it was. 2 times my money. I don't remember exactly. I was stoked. That's when I knew it's more than possible to make money with copywriting. A few days went by. I was still outreaching and practicing like crazy. I felt unstoppable. I even became a copywriting coach in that community. So I went from not knowing anything about copywriting to now making money and hosting a lot of the coaching calls, teaching beginner copywriters how to land clients write copy. Isn't that crazy? How fast can things turn? Can they? But there was a new problem. My parents had no freaking clue that I wanted to quit college. So all they knew was I was doing this thing, copywriting on the side, on the internet. They actually didn't even know what copywriting was. They probably don't even know what it is still to this day. So they thought I was doing it just to pay for my living expenses, for some of my living expenses. So what do I tell them? How do I tell them? I couldn't just say, hey mom, hey dad, I wanted to drop out of college so I can follow this thing copywriting that I found on the internet, which you have no clue what it is. By the way, you don't even know what it is, but you will still keep paying my expenses, right? So the time was June of 2023. Summer had arrived, and the exams were almost over. I was terrified. I thought if I told them the truth, my parents would kick me out of the house or something. And I'm not kidding here. I honestly thought this. So even though I was closing some 3-figure copywriting deals here and there, I was making a few $100 a month, I still wasn't making enough money to live off of. So for my income, I was still dependent on my family. I'd end up homeless without them. Like most college students. Side note, something I didn't mention earlier. I never laid foot on those exams that I told you about earlier. I didn't even hand a blank page. I didn't even show up. Nothing. I didn't study. I didn't do anything. I was just working on this copywriting. So I couldn't stall this any longer. I had to tell them. And when I did, things just didn't go. They didn't go as planned. Okay, they didn't go as planned. They started yelling. They called me a liar. They kicked me out of the house. They said They said they didn't want anything to do with me, and they were thinking about disowning me. Just kidding, of course. No, they didn't do that. So we agreed that until the end of the summer, which was around 2 months after, that I'd have until then to start making money, or I'd go back in college. That's what we agreed on. So that deal sounded like a pipe dream for me at the time. I knew, I don't know why, I just had it inside of me. I knew that I could become a full-time copywriter making multiple figures a month if only I put my entire focus into it. If I could work 24/7 on this. I don't know why, but I just thought I could make it happen. I knew it. So far forward a few months, I discovered my next and current mentor and invested all of my life savings into it. I mean it, literally. I had managed to save up a few $1,000s from closing little deals here and there, and I put everything into him. That's it. I invested in myself. All of my money was gone in an instant. I went from having a few $1,000s in the bank, making feel, a little bit secure. I was like, okay, I have some rope, some safety net to fall into if I have to now being back at zero. I was like, if I don't make this work this month, I'll be broke again. I wouldn't have even money to buy food, if that makes sense. So I'd either swing or swim. There was no option number 2. I'd either make it or die trying. And I made it. I started making almost 5 figures per month. I believe putting yourself in these dead-end situations is by far the best bet you can take on yourself. That's how I helped one of my friends, Reagan, who is also a copywriter, land his first 1K deal right after promising himself to quit college. Now I know, it can be scary to make that jump. I know I certainly was terrified. I thought, what if I fail, man? What happens then? How will I end up on the streets? Will I have to go back in college? I didn't want to do that. But that's the point. That's the entire point of sinking or swimming. Your survival instinct takes over. Nothing on this earth can beat that. Nothing on this earth can beat your survival instinct. And I wouldn't change my journey for a thing. I love that nothing came to me easy. And I love that I had to pay with blood for everything I achieved in my career. My short career. I'm only doing this for a little over a year. Like a year and 2 months now. So yeah. It makes the end result so much sweeter. Some people will see that it's relatively hard to become a 6-figure copywriter and think that's a bad thing. They'll complain about it. But I disagree. I think the fact it's so hard to succeed is good. Because it keeps everyone from succeeding. It keeps everyone away. Because if you just don't quit, you're already further ahead of 99.9% of beginners, of copywriting tourists who'll just come in, they'll try this thing, they won't see results the first day, the first few weeks maybe, they'll quit. So, like I said, it makes the results so much sweeter. So, and because I know how hard it is to keep moving forward when you feel like You know, when you feel lost, when you're not making any results, I want to give you a quote from my personal library that I kept in mind every single time I wanted to quit. I said to myself, this is where every other person on this earth would quit, and here's where I won't. Think about it. What if everybody would become a full-time copywriter within 3 months? Would it be valuable? Would you see this valuable? Would you be so eager to hit 6 figures? Probably not. I don't think so. Now I'm 20 years old and I've already achieved time, location, and financial freedom. And it's only going up from there. It's only a matter of time until I hit those 20K, 50K months, 100K months, maybe more. So once your copywriting business starts taking off, your success will start compounding. And if you're dedicated, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. So if you're a college student thinking about dropping out of university and becoming a full-time copywriter, I couldn't recommend it more. I'm living proof of that. I can't wait to see you on the top, my brother or sister. That's it from me for today.